We'll have made, hopefully, some lasting change and taught ourselves what it means to eat healthy and to feel good because we are eating healthy. So just making a few choices different every single week. Sweeping change doesn't really work very well for anybody, does it? So Christiana is a mom of 2. Our little ones are over here, and our toddlers are there, and our littlies are hungry at the moment. We're just at the playground here in Bondi. So the first week, we just have to have more water, 2 to 3 liters a day. Second week, we'll do the water plus at least 7 vegetables every single day, servings of vegetables, or vegetables at every meal. If you can even get it in at breakfast, that's even better in your snacks too. But just 7 a day. The next week, a lean protein at every single meal. The next week, and snack. The next week is we're going to be cutting sugar. So that is going to include juice, so cut juice, but you can still have fruit, of course. Then the next week we're cutting processed food. And the final week, we are cutting coffee and wine, or sorry, that's what I like to drink, coffee and alcohol. We are gonna let everybody have 1 coffee because I think we will kill our partners if we don't have coffee. Like, we have to have at least 1, right? So now we're gonna talk about why we're doing what we're doing. So 2 to 3 liters of water a day for week 1. Why do we need more water, Christiana?
We need water. We need water for our concentration, for our cells, for our skin, for our hair, for our brains to function. We also need it if we're breastfeeding mums to be able to produce enough milk. We need it if we're working out, because we need to refuel our body, and we need it just basically for our cells to work and for the sodium and potassium, which are electrolytes, to also be balanced within our bodies.
And a lot of times you might just be dehydrated when you think you're hungry. You're like, oh my God, I'm so starving. And then you have a glass of water or 2 and you realize, oh, well, I am hungry, but I'm not going to eat the house down.
Exactly. That happens to me a lot.
Yeah, exactly. You think you're starving, but really you just are dehydrated. Okay, the next week is adding in vegetables, and not all vegetables are created equal, at least the way we prepare them. I don't want you to deep fry those vegetables to all my Southerners in the US of A.
Don't add cheese on top of everything.
Yeah, and lots of mayonnaise and all that stuff. You can have all that stuff in moderation, but roast your vegetables, steam your vegetables, boil, eat them raw even, better yet. Yes. Frozen vegetables are okay. So vegetables, why are we eating more vegetables?
Well, vegetables contain a lot, like we've talked about, fiber. So that also helps us, our digestive systems, and it helps us feel fuller for longer. Vegetables also contain a lot of B vitamins, which we need for energy, and they also allow for our adrenals to be supported, and they also allow for our bodies to produce hormones. We also need vegetables for vitamin C, which we know for our immune system, and also for our skin and hair to look really nice, and also to replenish us and boost us, because we're probably not sleeping, a lot of us. It's just the reality.
Yeah.
And vitamin A for lots of things like our eyesight and more.
Yeah. So and really the reason that I came up with the challenge the way that I did from the nutrition standpoint, then just consulted with Christiana, because she is the certified nutritionist. I do have nutrition training in my certifications, but not anything like this girl. But I want to edge out the bad stuff by adding in all the good stuff, and I think it's easier to cut things later and bring in the good things. Let me just put her back on.
Exactly, and that means, and what she means by that is, the more veggies you've got on your plate, the less you're going to eat of the unnecessary things, and you're going to want to snack less, because you're filling up your plate with real goodness. And that's the same for your carbs and your proteins.
Absolutely. So the next week, speaking of, we're adding in the lean protein. So lean protein at every single meal, and that's going to help us stay satisfied. Why else do we want to have protein? What do we need protein for?
Protein repairs our cells. Protein helps our skin and our muscles, and protein also helps our cell function. And like I've mentioned before, protein helps our hormones, and protein also helps with brain and mood, which a lot of people don't know, and liver detoxification. So everyone that thinks that, let's do juice cleanses, that's not the way. Actually eat your protein and
your fiber. Juice cleanses.
Yes.
I hate the idea of juice cleanses because you end up losing all the fiber, which is so good for you.
And half the nutrients when you juice it.
Yeah, it's really silly. And then it spikes your blood sugar, and then you're starving afterward anyway.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't get it.
And angry.
Hangry. Don't mess with us. So then we are going to be cutting sugar. So by sugar, again, we mean like lollies or candy and dessert and things.
And also,
but fruit is good for you, right? Berries. I know you love to add in
all
berries
about
to brekkie and
fruit is essential, and it's all about that extra nutrients that you're getting too from your fruit, like those vitamin C's and the fiber and the antioxidants that you get from a lot of them. And taking out refined sugar also is going to reduce that inflammation that exists in the body as a result, like, because we know that refined sugar causes inflammation.
Yeah. Okay. So next up is the processed food, and so this is a hard week for me, except the last week was hard for me last time because I love to eat protein bars. That is my thing, which I know there are worse vices to have, but why do we try to make sure that the things that we're putting in our body don't have ingredients that we can't pronounce on the back?
Well,
there are plenty in the
again,
protein bars.
like I've mentioned about refined sugars, these processed foods do the same thing. A lot of them are quite high in sodium, and as a result of that, you can get excess sodium in your diet, which isn't good for our hearts in the long run, and it also isn't good for our whole body function and those balance of electrolytes so the cells can work. And also just processed foods, those ingredients, we don't know what they are. They are processed, they are manufactured by us, and we want as little of that as possible and more going that real whole food. So those protein bars, like I always get asked about protein powder.
Protein powder,
and
too.
I say go for a natural one, and there are those, and I have no issues. And you can make your own protein bars that don't have those thousands of ingredients.
What about collagen protein?
Oh yeah, go ahead, use that. I'm all for that one, but I think if you have a real balanced diet and you're getting that protein in your body, and you can get that through eating the meats and stuff.
And let's just mention that anytime we are talking about supplements or anything like that, you need to speak one-on-one with either your doctor or your nutritionist, because we do all have different, cases of different issues, right? Same with my exercise program. Make sure you have medical clearance. You have to have it to do the challenge and to do any of my classes. And I also suggest you go to see a women's health physiotherapist to make sure that your tummy muscles and pelvic floor, really your musculoskeletal structure, is all good. Okay, final week. Let's get to it. This is the one everybody's like, oh my God, Anna, really? But we're getting rid of the alcohol and the coffee. It wasn't too bad last time. I did actually cheat a couple times last time. I'm gonna try not to this time with the coffee.
Look, the coffee itself, a lot of mums, if you are having one, I would say try to reduce it to half a shot. Because try and reduce it. Don't just because Anna says, "Oh, no, have one," that means you can have one. Try and challenge your body, and also give it that thing, and see whether it improves your clarity, and see whether it helps your liver function a little bit better, and see what it does and what effects it can have on your body, because you might actually prefer it.
Yeah, and you know what? I did have a mom actually tell me she was having 3 or 4 coffees a day and having anxiety.
Yes.
And the minute she took the coffee out of her diet, she was immediately feeling better.
And not just coffee, I'm just going to say this for Diet Coke, Cokes, any soft drinks that you're having, a lot of them are caffeinated.
Hi, kids.
Hi. Yes.
Hi, kiddos. Okay, so that is it. What about alcohol? Why don't we want to have alcohol?
Again, the liver. Again, that inflammation. Again, the concentration. All
And
of
empty
those
calories.
Yes, empty calories. Sugars that you don't need. Like I would rather you say you're going to eat a piece of dark chocolate.
Yeah. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Okay, Christiana, any final words before the girls take off on the challenge?
Oh, you can do it.
You can do it. So make sure that you have your nutrition trackers printed out. Keep it on your refrigerator. Keep it on your bathroom mirror, somewhere where you're going to see it every day. And just check on. Put a check mark beside it. Check off that you have done the challenge for the day. If you fall off the bandwagon, just get back on the horse. Just get back on. Just get back on. It's okay. We're not all perfect. We're not the food police or the fitness police.
No, definitely.
We just want to teach healthy lifestyle changes, and that's what this challenge is meant to do. Okay.